20 minutes. Okay.
Okay, welcome fans from around the world. Complete football. The English Premier League kicks off on Friday with Fulham at Old Trafford against Manchester United. The traditional curtain raiser took place on Saturday, and Man City won on penalties. And to review the Premier League, it's Mustafa, Warif, and Abiodun Banjoko. You guys are very welcome. Mustafa, you can kick in from here.
Welcome everybody to to complete football. Proud of global sports. So thank you. We're getting ready for the first game of the season, and I'm going to jump in and make my predictions. I'm going to say that it's too close to call actually between Liverpool and Man City. Let me just say Man City. Man City, Liverpool. Number 3, I will say. No, sorry, not Liverpool. Man City, Arsenal. It's too close to call between the two of them. So I'm going to say Man City, Arsenal. Then number 3, I'm going to say Liverpool. Then it's going to be a big fight for number 4, but I think it will be Chelsea or Newcastle. What do you think, Bjorn? Very quickly, then we'll go to the details of the game. Or what's your thoughts, Warif? I think Bjorn is having troubles here.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Bjorn's back.
Bedu is here. His audio is okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Visuals are okay.
I think it's quite difficult to call. It's so early, but I think if Man City do not sign anybody, I think I tip Arsenal winning the league.
That's why I said it's too close to call. But
sign anybody to replace Julian Alvarez, I think Arsenal are great to win the league this season. But no doubt that they are still very strong on paper. They're very good side. I think it's just going to be between Man City, Arsenal, and
Newcastle. What if he's smiling already?
Let Kule wait. What were you going to say, Bjorn? What were you going to say?
Yeah, I think I'll just go with I'll go with Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and Aston Villa.
You remember Aston Villa is going to be playing in the Champions League, so it's going to hurt them.
Yes. Sure. They have prepared their squad for it.
Yeah. So you have them beating Chelsea and Man U.
Yes.
And Liverpool.
And Liverpool, yes.
Liverpool, okay. Yes. Yeah, they sound like good teams. You know more. I think you have more insight than I do. We'll come back to that. What are your predictions, Warif?
Okay. Arsenal has not really signed any solid striker yet. They are still holding on to Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz. So with that, I will still give it to City, then Arsenal second, then Liverpool, then maybe Arsenal, Chelsea. So
and to me, I think we're saying different things, but these things are so close. To be honest with you, but we're gonna go into. Go ahead.
Nobody should call Chelsea. We are nowhere.
Who?
Well, you guys are signing a lot of players.
Yeah, Chelsea has problems, but they have good potential though. Yeah, but
it's too much money that is disturbing Chelsea. Too much money.
Also, American owners. Yeah,
Chelsea were
too much dollars.
And towards the end, they started getting a lot stronger. Chelsea just needed a striker, and their Michael Jackson striker has been joined by a new Nicholas Jackson. Got another partner striker. They're going to be very strong this season. They've got a good
Chelsea,
coach.
They need a stable coach. Not just hire and fire. Allow the coach to build this team. Let him know the players, their strength and their weakness.
All this one about Newcastle and Villa. Newcastle and Villa and Tottenham. They're not top 4. Forget those ones.
I think
we're going to come back to that. I was going to say so. But Kule, what is your and let's keep it quick because we're going to come back to talk. What are your top 4? Yeah.
My top 4 in no particular order. Manchester City are going to be the top 4. Yeah. Chelsea are going to be the top 4. Arsenal are going to be in the top 4, and United are going to be the top 4.
Yeah, I only differ from you. I think
Liverpool are going through. Liverpool, I think, are going through a change. The only good thing about Liverpool's new manager, from what I understand, I don't know much about him, but I've been told that he plays a similar kind of football to Jurgen Klopp, which is why they picked him.
Yeah, he's
so they're not going to have too much trouble in the transfer market. But I think that Liverpool's players are getting a bit stale.
They have continuity though. Let's go to Warif and we'll come back to that.
And they're a bit predictable.
We'll go to Warif for that. But the only good thing is that they are going to continue Kloop's thing, and they also have the same players. So even though they're still, they know each other. They have continuity. But we'll talk more about that. What do you think, Warif? Top four.
Let me go back to Arsenal. Arsenal, they still have some weakness. Like for example, Saka. They need a backup for Saka. If Arsenal can sign this Moreno, the Spanish guy, he might be a backup for maybe Odegaard or backup for Partey. Because I'm concerned, Partey old age has started on him. You know, Africans they have their football age. So Arsenal need to get a backup for Saka and a good striker. At least Arsenal, the defense, they are okay. Then we need a striker and a backup. Then also for Man City, what I was thinking to Man City is that Haaland is still there, Foden is still there, Grealish is still there, Doku,
De Bruyne is there,
and some other good players. De Bruyne, the field marshal, is there. But for Chelsea, the problem, somebody was saying that Chelsea, any person they see on the street, they just come, can you play football? Come, let me sign you. Even right now, this guy they signed from, I wanted to sign from Atletico Madrid. I heard the deal has collapsed.
That's just me.
I heard the deal has collapsed. So Chelsea, they should build it, and they should learn to keep their coach. This guy, Pochettino, was already getting used to the players building. They would have just allowed him, but they fired him. So let's see how it goes this season. And again, you see these English people. I don't know if it's RNG or whatever. They want to baptize the coach. His first match is against the almighty Man City. So that would be well, let's see how it goes, sir. The match will be an interesting one for
It's going to be very interesting season. So what are your thoughts?
There's nothing about.
What about Afalabi first? What are your top four? Yeah. Then we can jump in for freestyle. Yeah.
I think this might be the breakthrough season for Arsenal. But my problem with Arsenal is they overuse Saka. There's no replacement for him, and he plays too many games. And Martin Odegaard and Martinelli, their system seems to be cast in stone. They're not so flexible.
And also, they just got this new player, Calafiori. They don't need to spend money on defense. They don't need to spend money on defense.
Yes, Calafiori is a wonderful signing. But when you make signings, you sign to
what you need.
For what you need. But Arsenal has been brilliant defensively. They didn't need
They don't need him. That's my point.
They need a striker. So to me, he surpasses the requirements, really. Arsenal's defense has been very brilliant. They don't need a defender.
There are no strikers on the market.
Yeah, but I think they would finish above Man City. Man City's sale of Julian Alvarez, if they don't get a replacement, is going to come back to haunt them. Kevin De Bruyne is old. I don't see him performing particularly fantastically well this season. And
but he doesn't have to play he doesn't have to play a full match though. They have depth.
And we're not sure if Ederson will stay, really. So I think it's going to be Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool reluctantly, because Arne Slot is just going to settle down and try and, his system is similar to Klopp, but it's going to be somehow different from Klopp. The players are going to want to buy into him and stuff like that. It won't be easy. Yeah. It's like a transition. So I'll say Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. Aston Villa fourth, and then Manchester United fifth. But Aston Villa are going to find it difficult because playing in the Champions League, you need a deep squad. They bought Onana, but I don't think they're quite ready. They're not well stocked yet for the Champions League.
Yeah. So you have Newcastle coming low. So I think it's Bearden who has Newcastle coming in. No, who has Aston Villa coming in the top four and Newcastle too, right? Yeah.
I'm
not disagreeing. It's gonna be tough. It could happen because Liverpool may not be that good. Hold on, let me finish. Liverpool may not be that great, but I think that we know Man City and Arsenal are top two for sure. After that, it's anybody's game. That's the way I see it. What were you gonna say, Kunle?
Yeah, I was going to say the transfer window is still open, and we're going to have to revisit this conversation.
Oh yeah, this is we have to keep changing.
Because a lot of things are going to change.
Yeah, this is we're going to be doing predictions every week or every other couple of weeks. Yeah.
I'm basing Man United's success on the assumption that I think they're going to get Ugarte and they strengthen their squad. Man City, it depends on the fitness of Rodri. If Rodri is fit, I think that Man City are going to rely this season more on youth players coming up, and they're going to rely on youth players into their new squad. I have not seen much activity from Newcastle and Aston Villa that's going to impress me. Arsenal's defense, with Julian Timber being fit again, are a bit better. But I think that, yes, they need alternatives, variation in their attack. And Arsenal, like I said it last season, Arsenal are going to do an Arsenal. They always start off well. You know, the first day of the season, they're top of the league because the letter starts with A. Now win most of their first few games, and around November, Arsenal fans are going to sound like they've won the league. Around December, they start dropping off a little, and then it becomes a big old mess in January. And by February, March, they're losing more games than, oh God, I can't say. I don't even want to use what analogy I can use. But they're losing
they don't have depth. That's
left, right.
And I'll also say something. Arsenal should have kept Obi. They should have just paid him £30,000 a week. They should have kept
Well,
him.
you see, the problem with salaries, you have to be very careful with salary caps. Okay. You have to be careful with salary caps because it affects the rest of your squad. You don't want your squad being player FC. You don't want your players dominating the dressing room or having huge wages. Even if you can afford them, it can affect the morale of some other players.
But I think it would help because they need a center forward.
And some players getting loads of money is on the bench.
Yeah, they need a center forward.
And they're not going to get Tony. Apparently, they don't want Ivan Toney. I think, yeah, Ivan Toney's got 1 year left on his contract. I suspect that someone's going to snap him up like on the 30th of August or 31st of August for like 30 million, because if they don't, the next chance for Ivan Toney to sell is going to be January window. After that, if they don't, and he's going to be worth a lot less then. And if they don't sell in the January window, then he goes for free at the end of the season. So Brentford need to do a deal on Ivan Toney. And I think someone's going to swipe him at the very, very last minute in order to try to get him at the lowest possible price. They can get him for like 30 million, which would be a steal. Anyone can get Ivan Toney for 30 million at the end of the season. But you have to wait till the end. No one's going after him for now. And I just want to say that this Irish whiskey is absolutely delicious. And I'm
Jameson. I don't have anything today. Yeah.
Red wine.
Red wine.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Biodun? Yeah.
Yeah, I think with what we've seen in the transfer market so far, like Kunle rightly said, I think some of these permutations were determined by the 31st of August when the transfer deadline has been concluded. So
yeah, we'll do a show on September 1st.
Yeah, but if you look at people, I think I think a lot of teams have actually worked a lot around fitness of their players, revolving around preseason. And if you see the results in the preseason, there's I think it's just a bit of Arsenal and City that has a little bit of consistency in terms of performance and results and style of play, which is why you see why most of us have them in the top two and our projections in the top four. So a very solid team. I don't think Arsenal I think one thing Arsenal is trying to be careful about is not to make too much changes to the team. They know that the team has come this far, and you don't want to just make one drastic change that can make all the hard work. You have to actually take your time to get the right piece to fit into the jigsaw. So I think that is just what we want to take their time.
And we don't know what's going to happen even after August. And even after that, we don't know what's going to happen with injuries and other things later on in the season.
Yes.
So this is tentative.
Like Warif rightly said, I think a strong, powerful center forward that can give you 30 goals in all competition would really be good for them. Maybe they are banking on Gabriel Jesus stepping up his performance from last season to deliver that for them. Let's see how he does this season.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite interesting season. I think, rightly said from everyone, I think Villa would struggle a bit with regards the number of competitions they are playing. But if you look at this kind of signings they've done, and as well as West Ham, they've signed a couple of top-notch players to fill certain positions. And Villa actually sold Moussa Diaby to the Saudi Pro League and have bought some tremendous talents and to kind of balance their squad. So, Unai Emery is one manager
from
that knows
Everton
how to compete very well.
Yeah.
So Emery knows how to compete very well. So he has looked at his squad, and he has a full first 22 squad in that Villa side, as well as some talented players from the academy that he can bring in. So the Villa team is completely balanced, except maybe they suffer from drastic injuries. That's when you kind of see them drop off. I think
they didn't spend a lot of money, or they just know how to manage their money well.
Yeah, they know how to manage their money very well. Unlike Chelsea, that just by
Chelsea,
American billionaire.
So
all
I'm a
about the
Chelsea fan,
Benjamin.
but I'm not optimistic this season. I'm not optimistic.
We'll see what happens.
You saw
I'm very optimistic about
Newcastle and Villa were dropping points anyhow towards the end of the season.
I think for Newcastle is struggling with financial fair play. I think that is some of the things that is hindering them from signing players. It's not that they don't have the money to sign players. It's just that how to balance the books with the financial fair play is their challenge, and they're trying to see how they can work around that. For West Ham, I think I'm quite impressed with West Ham signing Nicolas.
They are trying to sign one Man U player, the Man U player.
Yes,
Full is 31. Bissaka is not a title winning right back. He's a defensive right back.
Good.
They're trying to compete to get between 6th and 8th. That's if Villa, not Villa, the Hammers, if they get to 6th, I think they've done well. I don't think that they're challenging for 4th. They should be challenging for 8th. If they get 6th, that's a bonus for them. I don't get carried away with the Hammers. I won't get carried away with Villa and Newcastle. They've still got a lot to do. And the problem with Newcastle and Villa, although they have the money, they don't have the reputation that attracts the really, 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 really top players. They got lots of good players, but the top cutting-edge players that are going to win you titles, they don't have them. And they don't have the reputation to get them.
It's close though, because
Newcastle have the history of being able to attract, the old days they could get Ginola and Les Ferdinand and Faustino Asprilla and lots of great, exciting players, But and they had a massive stadium. They went down because they built their stadium. It took them a long time to build their stadium. They went down to Division 1, came back up again, and then they lost the momentum of popularity. The Tsunami was very popular in the 90s. Everybody wanted to support them. But because they lost so much time trying to get back up after building their stadium, they've lost it. But they are the only team that have the potential to get a massive following behind them. Villa, not so much. Tottenham, but Tottenham are Tottenham. Yeah, they're just gonna.
We haven't talked about Tottenham a lot today.
You don't need to talk much about Tottenham. Yeah, they play the ball.
Tottenham have good tactics and good management, but they don't have enough.
Their problem is Arsenal. Tottenham, their problem is Arsenal. Once they finish above Arsenal, they're okay.
Yeah, that's
the league for them.
Tottenham sacked Mourinho 2 days to the final.
Rubbish.
Because they're afraid they might win something.
Oh, those guys are terrible.
Can you imagine?
So let's round it up. So we're going to end with what are your last thoughts, Falabi? But we're going to continue this again on every week. We'll be having a show talking about the EPL, and we're also going to have a show continuing Man U, Arsenal, United. So give us our next episode will be that's me, Kunle Williams, and and Wari.
Like everybody has rightly said, it's a little too early to make cogent predictions because of the Euros. Because of the Euros, a lot of players are just joining their teams for practice. So we're going to have to do this later on, maybe close to the end of the transfer season, because a lot of transfer activities are still going to go on. And there's still a lot of permutations. So a lot of what we said today is still going to change. But right now, I'm looking ahead to Fulham at Old Trafford on Friday. I hope Manchester United starts on a winning note. That's just where I'm ending it.
Losing note. Let me start. Okay.
I'm not wearing their jersey.
The time as Wari have done their signings today.
Yes.
Luke Shaw might be fit for the start of the season. Yes.
Okay.
And I think we're going for Ugarte. If we get Ugarte, delete Mazraoui.
Oh, that would make a big difference.
I don't like to make noise, but I think that you're going to see
hopefully we have hopefully.
Not like last season where we're spending 90 million on Anthony and 80 million on Casemiro, wasting all our money.
Anthony Village.
If people are complaining, what should Chelsea do?
I don't know, man.
Chelsea need to
Might
build
there.
on what they've got, and they need to solidify. I think that getting rid of Pochettino was actually
I wouldn't have sacked Pochettino.
got them to a point where they were going to.
I wouldn't have sacked Pochettino.
They would have been in
Mhm.
top 4 for sure
Yeah,
with
sure.
Pochettino.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
so guys, we'll be back at the end of the week to talk about games on Saturday and Sunday. Then we'll also talk on Monday about the games. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. God bless. Okay.
Yeah.